We start with the quarterfinals of the men's team pursuit. This is an event where the Americans are the world record holders, the reigning world champions, and the gold medal favorites. So both teams wearing blue, so remember the Americans, at least for the moment, at the top of your screen. Italy at the bottom of your screen. Casey Dawson, Emery Lehman, and Ethan Cepuran start their pursuit of a gold medal.
Just watch how in sync these three are as soon as they get up and get up to speed. They have been training this race oftentimes 2-a-days, just focus on team pursuit. There's no one else in the entire world that does this. The only big question, when you look at the tape, you'd say U.S. team all day long. The Italian team, though, is coming off that huge home court advantage. Italian skaters skating so well this entire Olympics thus far.
The Americans have the early lead on Italy. We'll get another check on time here. You get splits every 200 meters here. The Americans already more than a second ahead of Germany's pace.
Wow, 12-second, 200 meters there. We're going to get splits every half lap, which is unusual in speed skating, but these guys are going speeds comparable to a good 1,500-meter skater. Another 12.9, 200-meter split there. These guys are moving so quickly. And you see their hands stay on the skater in front of them the entire time. No one in the world does this better than the U.S. team.
Again, this was a project that started about 7 years ago. At first, Shane Domer, their head of performance, was consulting with some sports scientists, just looking for any type of advantage in how they changed. And what their drafting was, they ran a simulation, realized they could save more time if they skated this way. That was, at the time, considered a ludicrous idea, but the Americans bought in. Results came pretty quickly. And in a way, it really is a true American underdog story. As three individuals, Casey Dawson, Ethan Cepuran, Emery Lehman, were not individual medal favorites, but together they are better than any team of all-stars. The Dutch, the Italians, the Norwegians, consistently year over year. They're already more than 3 seconds ahead of Germany's pace and about a second up on Italy.
And those are the splits to watch. It's not surprising the U.S. team is well ahead of the German team that's in the current lead, but watch that Italian team. They're bridging that gap a little bit. They're hovering right at a second, but they were up over a second just a bit ago. To put in perspective this season, the U.S. team's worst finish has been 2.37 seconds ahead of the entire rest of the field.
Yeah, they haven't just won, they've won by dominant margins. Italy pulling ever so slightly closer with 3 laps to go. The Americans keeping that tight formation and that predictable track pattern, which is so important for Casey Dawson because Emery Lehman and Ethan Cepuran are basically skating blind here.
And this time gap between the U.S. team and Italians down to about 0.7 of a second. Again, it would be highly unusual for the U.S. to not qualify in the top 4 times, but they want to have the best time. If I'm their coach, wow, it's getting very close. We're down to about a half a second gap there, a little bit more. The Italians starting to struggle a little bit, starting to come apart, not staying as close, not pushing as much, but I would want to see the U.S. team way ahead of the rest of the field.
Wow, Italy's back within 33 hundredths inside the final 2 laps. Remember, you don't just want to be top 4, you want to be first for the most favorable matchup here. It's getting very close. Almost dead even. The United States only 400ths ahead of the bell.
And it's the third skater across the line. That's why they've got to work as a team. Whoever that third person is, they want to split apart and come across the line as close to one person as possible.
The United States just fell behind the Italians by 0.3. Italy with a much stronger finish than the Americans here. They've broken out wide, racing for the line, and Italy takes the pair in 3:38.40. The Americans drop to second. Italy, you win the quarters. What's your award? A semifinal matchup against the Netherlands. For the United States, it wasn't their cleanest race, wasn't their prettiest, but in prime position to still fight for a medal. They'll face the team from China in the semifinals.